Hi everyone, this is Artemis with SirLinksalot, and today we're going to be talking about Tier 2 link building. Now, Tier 2 link building is a powerful and effective strategy for increasing the power of your pre-existing backlinks. And that's why today we're going to be talking about what Tier 2 link building is, how you can get Tier 2 backlinks, as well as all about our own, as well as how you can place an order at the end of this video if that's something that you're interested in. We'll also be going over a lot of stuff in this video, so if you'd like to skip around to something specific, go ahead and refer to the timestamps that you can see at the bottom. All right, then let's get started.
So first of all, what are Tier 2 backlinks? In this picture here, you can see that we have our website here at the top labeled W, and then we have these other links right here that are pointing directly to our website. I have this one as a guest post, here is another guest post, here's a niche edit or a link insertion, and here is a social profile. These are all called Tier 1 backlinks, and they're basically anything that's pointing directly to your website. Now you can see these black backlinks down at the bottom, and these backlinks are not pointing directly to our website. They're pointing to our Tier 1 backlinks. These are called Tier 2 backlinks. So they don't point directly to your site, but instead only to your Tier 1 backlinks. This is essentially a way to power up your Tier 1 backlinks just in the same way that these Tier 1 backlinks power up your website. And because these Tier 2 backlinks don't point directly to your website and they're only used to power up your Tier 1 backlinks, a lot of people prefer to use very low quality spammy backlinks for this kind of thing. However, at SirLinksalot, we don't really like to do that because we like building projects for the long term, and we don't want to risk any kind of penalties or anything like that. That's not to say that powering up your Tier 1 backlinks with spam can't work, it's just something that we don't prefer to do. You can really use any kind of backlink to power up your Tier 1 backlinks. However, there are a couple of options that we like to use the most, and those would be low-cost niche edits as well as low-cost PBN links. The reason we're doing this is because they're cheaper than normal links, yet still quite safe and they pack a punch. You could also use stuff like diversity links, pillow links, or social signals, but those don't really have the same kind of power as something like a niche edit or PBN link, even if you're using lower authority options. Tier 2 link building can be white hat or black hat depending on what types of links that you're using. So if you're using a lot of spammy stuff, you're going to go down more of a black hat route, versus if you're just using link insertions or something like that, it's definitely more of a white hat option. Like I mentioned before, the cleaner the links that you use on your Tier 2, the better your chances for avoiding any kind of penalty from Google. However, I'll also note that a lot of people still use a lot of spam during Tier 2, and a lot of the time they don't run into any issues. But again, this is something that you'll have to determine for yourself and consider what type of risk that you're willing to take. Even though Google is not the best at reading multiple tiers deep for backlinks right now, we're still in the camp of being more conservative, just in case in the future they start looking at that kind of thing more heavily. That way, we'd still be safe then. So next up, we're just going to chat more about how to use Tier 2 backlinks, even though we kind of already been talking about that when describing what they are, but we're going to get a little bit more specific for you. First of all, where do you want to build them to? You can choose some of your most important guest posts, link insertions, social profiles, or any kind of Tier 1 backlink that you have pointing to your site. Just choose some of the more important ones, so the ones you'd like to power up the most. You could use a tool like Ahrefs to look at your backlink profile and pick some of the backlinks that have already been seen as the most important by Ahrefs. You could scroll down and find a backlink that is a lower UR, meaning it doesn't have much power going to it, and then you can try to power that up. Increasing the power of a backlink with a URL of 0 or a very low URL will usually be much more effective than increasing a backlink that already has a very high UR. So when you're choosing anchor text for your Tier 2 link building, we prefer to be very natural and choose anchor text that would actually make sense for the page that you're linking to. So for these Tier 2 backlinks right here, we would use anchor text that makes sense for the guest post instead of anchor text that makes sense for our website. When in doubt, you can just use extremely natural anchor text like branded URL or generic anchors. You can actually use Tier 2 link building at any point during your ranking journey. It doesn't have to be at the very beginning, it doesn't have to be once you've already got traffic, and it also doesn't have to be right when the Tier 1 link is built. The Tier 1 link could have actually been built a long time ago, and you can go in and build Tier 2 at any time to it. Now we'll talk briefly about how to get Tier 2 backlinks. Now this is going to be a pretty short section because it's impossible to just explain how to get every single type of backlink. Like I mentioned before, Tier 2 backlinks can really be any kind of backlink. It just depends on what type you would like to use. Like I said before, we like to use low authority niche edits as well as PBN links just because they're the most cost effective. You can watch our niche edits video or our PBN links video for more information on how to build these two types of links, or you can just come to a provider such as ourselves and we can build them for you. Next up, we'll talk about our Tier 2 backlink options and how to place an order if that's something that you're interested in. So first of all, you can choose between our niche edits and our PBN links, which we have listed here, just because they are our favorite options. You can see over here for our niche edits, it says check our barrage and bulk level 1 packs for the most cost-effective options, so let's go ahead and do that. So here we are on our niche edits page. Scrolling down here, you can go to the bottom, and here are our low authority RD10 to 50 bulk packs, also known as our barrage packs. You can see that these are actually quite cheap compared to our normal niche edits. These are packs of 20, 15, 10, and of course 30, and they can get down to as low as $25 to $31 per link. Keep in mind that these are still links from real websites. These are niche edits, not PBNs. We'll actually go over PBNs next, but these are links from low authority real websites, and you can see that $20 to $30 per link is a lot cheaper than the $80 to $300 per link up here when you have the higher authority options. Scrolling down again, we can go over to our bulk level 1 packs. These are pretty similar to our barrage packs, they're just a little bit higher in authority. The barrage packs were already 10 to 50, which is very low authority, and these are already 50 plus. There's actually no cap on this, so they can be higher than 100 or 200. It really just depends on what we have available at the time. You can see that these are also a little bit more expensive, going from $50 a link down to about $40 per link. Going back to our Tier 2 backlinks page, let's check out our PBN links option. Here we are on our PBN links page, and I'm going to go ahead and just scroll down. These are our homepage rentals up here at the top, and I would really advise you to only use these for Tier 1 backlinks, as rentals can be quite expensive. At least for PBN links, they can be. Not compared to a guest post or something, but these come down to $43 per month or $13 per month, depending on the authority level. But either way, it's better to use these for Tier 1 links. Coming down here to the bottom, we have our PBN guest post and our PBN niche edits. These are similar, except of course guest post will be a new article on the PBN site, and a PBN niche edit will be a link insertion into an existing article that's already on the PBN site. Now, since we're doing Tier 2 link building, I'd actually go ahead and advise using the PBN niche edits, as these are quite a bit cheaper. But if you'd like to get more relevance by having new articles written, you can definitely do the guest posts. So like I said, I'd probably be using these $35 to $45 options here. When you're ready to order our niche edits and PBN links, you can just click on the Order Now button on the screen, and that will take you to an order form that looks like this, where you can select your options and give us information like your anchor text, your target URLs, and your desired niche. Of course, when you're ready to order, you can see the total over here, enter a coupon code if you have one, and then fill out your payment information and then hit the complete purchase button. Just like any other type of backlink that we sell, as soon as your order is finished, we'll send you a report that looks something like this, which will include all of the link types, the link of the URLs that we built, as well as your target URLs and anchor text. Alright, so that's about it for the Tier 2 backlinks today. We've learned a lot, including what they are, how to use them, how to get them, and all about our Tier 2 link building options as well. Definitely check out our blog over at SirLinksalot.co, as well as our YouTube channel for more information on Tier 2 link building. Be sure to subscribe to our mailing list over at SirLinksalot, as well as join our Facebook group, the SEO Roundtable, to stay up to date and get all of the good information that you need to know about the SEO and link building community. Alright guys, that's it for now, and I'll catch you in the next one.